Hey
We're
kids,
live.
we are live. It is Tech Talk. You guys have been jonesing. You guys have been fiending for the gingers in our community, namely, David Feeder's Beard and Rags to Riches, who have not been hanging out lately, and I've been out of town. So get ready, hold on to your socks. Let's do some Tech Talk. Hey everybody, it is Sunday, and what does that mean? Sunday fun day. It's Tech Talk. There's been so much crazy stuff going on the last 3 weeks in our community with all these other projects launching and doing sacrifice phases and getting off the ground that we don't even have to wait for PulseChain to launch to have a lot of stuff to talk about. In fact, right before we went live, Maximus DAO crossed their $150 million goal of maxing out the bigger pays better bonus. So they got 5 more days for people to mint their Maxi 1-to-1 against Hex. And so like that's going on. People have been losing their ass on Hedron lately, basically. Ever since I picked up a little bag of Hedron, it's gone down. We'll just say that. Right?
Yeah. I got lucky. I bought the exact fucking bottom. I swear to God, I'm still up double on it. So I got so lucky right before Vegas. I threw in a couple of bucks, like one rack, and boom. It was great. So
I'm waiting for another zero. I'm waiting for 6 zeros.
That I did 6 zeros and an 8. That's where I bought.
Go.
Yep, that's the price. That's the target. If it touches that, load the boat.
Nice. I'm going to start just asking David before I buy anything. Like
I don't know about that. I'm not
How's it going, Rags? We saw you making everyone nervous in a park yesterday. What was that about?
Listen, man, I'm sitting in the park. It's a beautiful day. I felt one with nature. The synergy was just pouring into my soul, and I said, you know what? I looked down at my cell phone and I saw the YouTube app, and I clicked it and I said, let's go live in a park. Let's go live in a park. And let's make sure we tell everybody I'm in a park because of my son, not for any other reason. So that's what I did. And chat, being the collective psychopaths that they are, encouraged me to go down a slide that was entirely too small for my big frame. So I let them choose the slide. I gave them 3 options. They chose the smallest one for their entertainment purposes,
of course.
And I proceeded to go down the slide, and we just had a great conversation in the park, and it was awesome, man. I'm going to do it more often. I don't think many people do that.
Yeah, Yupcase says creeping at the park.
See, I told you. See, that's why I had to do that disclaimer first with the sun.
Shout out to Finbear. Shout out to Terrafin. Shout out to Crypto Heartbeat. Red Squirrel is in the house. Can't forget Red Squirrel.
I lost my glasses in Vegas.
Oh,
you lost your sunglasses in Vegas?
Yeah, prescription sunglasses. I'm very sad. Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. E. Shout out to Godfather J6. We got everyone's in the house, and of course Jawa. Jawa, you should jump on with us, Jawa. Tip Top's in the house too. Johnny Rocket, Crypto Check is in the house. I've never heard of Crypto Check before.
I met Johnny Rocket in person. He lives near me. I was with one of my boys at Five Guys Burgers and Fries, and this dude walks up. He's like, "Yo, are you David Feeder?" It's like, you into Hex? I was like, yeah. I'm like, you know me? He's like, yeah, bro. And then
usually that's before the black bag goes over your head and you're thrown into a van.
I got lucky. We had a great conversation. He's a lovely guy. So it was my lucky day. But yeah, he's a cool dude.
Awesome. Awesome. It says national TV attention right now on Fox. JJ Yelly's in 17th place due to a large wreck he avoided at Talladega. So awesome. Get those eyeballs on the awesome Hex car. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to drop a
is that going on
invite
right now?
in our think tank. Crypto Sloth runs a pretty sweet think tank here on Telegram. So I'm going to drop that in there and see if Jawa sees it there. So I know Jawa is always hanging out in there. So Jawa, go to our think tank Telegram, or even Crypto Sloth. You guys can come on. We'll chop it up. These guys have been talking nonstop about Maximus DAO, Hedron, everything going on behind the scenes. And here's the other deal: the three of us haven't done a tech talk in like 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So that means we are technically 2 or 3 weeks closer to PulseChain than we were last time we met, right?
Dude, we're closer than we've ever been before right now. This is the closest we've ever been. This moment.
And now we're the closest we've ever been 3 seconds ago.
Totally. But in reality, it's like next month, June. Like we're like weeks away. Yeah. It feels so good.
Johnny KS says if they're going to gank David or Brandon, they're going to need a team to carry them. That is true. You guys are both pushing what, 500-600 pounds?
Collectively,
you guys are beasts.
Yeah, I'm 6'3", 200.
I can't do front flips and back flips like Johnny. Okay, dude, I can't do that. So we need him on the team too. We need the agility and the ninja-like skills.
I'm armed. That's all. I have a lot of weapons on me, so that's what's going on with that, bro. Like, if somebody comes up on me, like, you don't know what I'm going to pull out, man. So
I never felt so safe in Vegas. And when I was just in between the two of you, and then of course my wife in front of her behind, she's big. She's taller than me too. Obviously, I'm like a delicate flower, really. And I always felt safe with you guys around there in Vegas. It was like I felt like the manager of a couple of WWF stars, really. And then if Hexologist walked in the room, forget about it. Just big boy after big boy.
Yeah.
Feet are dropping wisdom. Yes, he is always.
Getting ready, man. We're getting ready, dude. We're like the sacrifice balances are looking great on that app checker, by the way. Like, man, we're close.
Is there any? I mean, the indexing thing, is that any indication of how close we are at all, or no?
Nope. You saw Trayvon's video, obviously. Yeah, that was funny. No, sadly not. That's just the website server for the blockchain. Got it. Indexing. That's got zero to do with nothing. I was laughing when I was watching that. I was
do you guys know which developer Richard Hart was referring to when he did the mid-May comment? Because there's a team of developers, right? I don't know if they go by like nicknames or colors, but
I don't. It's really kind of a hidden secret. Like even I'm not exactly sure who's paid and who's a volunteer in the private dev channel. I'm not even sure. I know like the guy. I know there's two and one of them name is Shane. He's like the guy. He's like the head dev. But that's all we really know. It's kind of mysterious, actually. Even I truly don't know.
Right. Okay. So as soon as I heard him say mid-May, I said, okay, for sure it's not mid-May. Like that's the way my brain works. It's like, okay, definitely not when they said it's going to be. Let's pick another time. Let's continue to hope for June and pray for July, right? Like,
yes, totally. Yeah, you're 100% right.
So last time we spoke, David, you mentioned that there were some issues with the validators, kind of that process switching over to each validator. Is there any issues with that now? I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
It's better now. Yeah, in the beginning, a bunch of people registered validators, but they didn't even have servers. So they just were not mining blocks. So when it was their turn, it was like, oh, didn't answer. Oh, now a server picked it up. And that's why you were seeing many.
So that's what that was.
Yes. And it kind of sucks. We're going to see the same thing at the beginning in regular PulseChain. It just takes time to get past it. The one thing that sucks, the more shitty ones there are, the longer between the seconds between each block. And you have to do a certain number of blocks before the next rotation. So the more it sucks, the longer it takes to get out of the suck. But once we're done, which we are now, everything runs fine. if they don't run servers, they get felonies and they get kicked out of rotation.
There's a natural process initially. Get people the hell out that aren't providing any value.
Yeah, the software does it automatically. Yep.
Yeah.
After so many misses, they get kicked out.
Okay.
Let's go over this right here. Flame says, what's left to do? And basically, before this week, the balancers, getting all the balances correct with PulseX and PulseChain was on the to-do list. We believe that that's taken care of right now. The balances should all be pretty much correct, aside from maybe a couple here and there that are weird cases, right?
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
And then the other stuff on there was like they said, getting the validators all working, allowing people to delegate and undelegate if validator goes offline. Are they able to do that yet?
Yep, that's working fine. Yep. So
they got that one fixed.
That's done.
And now they're just watching the chain roll, right?
Yep. I think there's one more thing Richard should do is, and it's hard, I don't know if he can, but on Uniswap version 3, he's got to find a way for the robot to get all the money out in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And he said that's not mandatory, right? But
correct, not required.
Required, right?
Totally should do it. Like they should. Sure. That would suck if they didn't, because then people who are really smart and clever will go there and make a fuck ton of Pulse, like for basically free. So yeah. I hope they do it.
Awesome. And so it really could be any day now, but I'm not sure how long they want to run the testnet without any flaws before they go live.
Yeah, I think once Richard gives the go ahead, like, hey, sacrifice balances we think are done, then we do testnet version 3, and then that's it. It's the final touches.
I've noticed that Richard it seems like he's had a whole lot more time to play around on Twitter lately. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
Like probably 5-fold amount of tweets lately. So they're probably out of that suck hole of balances, or pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Any info on scanning the chain is all about. So Are they trying to get the chain scanner working as well?
Yeah. Like you talk about scan, like the Block Explorer website.
Yeah.
And for PulseChain, it sucks because we have this like open source version called Block Scout, and it's free. The guys at Etherscan, dude, they charge $4 million. If you pay them $4 million, they'll give you all the software for etherscan.com, and then you can make your own for PulseChain. But it's so much money. I mean, Richard could do it. He should, but like that's a hell of a ransom for some software.
Mm-hmm.
So we're stuck with this Block Scout thing, and it kind of sucks. But I hope that gets better in the future. But it's going to cost some coin.
Yeah, we've got Jawa in the green room.
Oh God!
I would say give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, but it's just a gray screen of mystery to see if he's ready to join us. I'm gonna bring him on here. All right, can you hear us, Jawa? Jawa is just this black corner of the screen right here. We'll see if he you got it?
Hello?
We heard something for a second,
Jawa. Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah. We could hear ourselves too.
Yeah, we're hearing feedback on Jawa.
Well, God damn it.
We got it for a second there.
Or if you have headphones, plug those in.
Yeah, plug it in.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So now you did another interesting tutorial this week that I retweeted, David. People have been trying to claim their Pulse Doge from the Staker wallet, and they've been unsuccessful in claiming their Pulse Doge. Did you find a work around that, or are people still out of luck for claiming their Pulse Doge?
The official Pulse Doge coin Twitter account replied to my video on Twitter and said, hey, there's a way to do it with Etherscan. So I think there is a way to do it. I have not figured it out yet, so I'm probably going to make another video. I'm going to try because I do want to do it, right? But yeah, it didn't work the first time, but I think there is a way. So I'm going to I'll keep at it until I find it.
Okay, cool. And I went ahead on my bigger accounts with more T-shares and claimed my Pulse Doge because it was worth the fee. Some of my smaller ones, I didn't have many T-shares or stakes, and it wasn't worth the fee. And then I helped family and friends claim their Pulse Doge because it's free money.
Literally free money. I mean, I can't believe it started so fucking high. Oh my god! Like it's like when I minted mine, it was like $1.50 each. Like what? What for Pulse Dogecoin? Are you kidding me?
Well, Pulse Dogecoin has the same pump of metals as Bitcoin right now, which is
better. Better pump of metals.
It's a fixed supply, right?
12.5 million, I think.
14 million. 14 million.
Oh, 14.
Total tops if everybody mints.
Yeah,
I thought that if everyone minted in the 100 days, the total would be around 20 million, but they thought that was unlikely. Like that was the total possible was like 20 million, but we're probably not going to get that many in the first, in the 100-day claim phase, right?
The chart has been wild. I mean, it went down to 75 cents. It went up to $3. Like that's a 3x right there overnight, and now it's back down at $1.50. Like, wow, it's
Finbear's asking how much you get for a T-shirt, and I don't think I couldn't figure out the calculation myself. I just knew the more you had, the more you got.
Well, but it translates to your staker app rank. So it depends how many T-shirts you have in your wallet, in each address.
Oh, so it's ranking each wallet in the leagues, the C leagues.
Yeah, exactly. It treats you just like staker app. Exactly. That's why if you're a dolphin, you get 900. If you're a squid, you get 750. But if you're a shark or like a whatever's above that, a whale, they get less because it penalizes whales and stuff. So it actually, dolphins get the most and then squids get second.
Yeah. Awesome. So squids get 750. And then if you're a turtle, you get 265. If you're a crab, you get 100.
Those are all profitable minting, by the way, because it only costs like $20 to mint. So, I mean, I minted wallets with just like 12. Like I did it just for the lols because you never know what's going to happen. Like you might as well get the coins. You're going to get the copy on PulseChain, even if it cost me $6 in gas of like loss. Fuck do I care? $6, Just I won't buy a sandwich tomorrow. I'll not buy that beer, maybe. And I'll get these coins instead.
Yeah, what you're saying really reminds me of another thing. People were talking about if Hex is going to survive on the Ethereum network once Pulse launches because of the fees. And I can't remember who brought it up, but they were saying, look, like a lot of these people, like these really rich whales, they pay $500 for lunch. They don't care if a fee is $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 to unlock their giant bags. The whales are going to stick around and harvest all their gains off of Ethereum. Now, like I said, the smaller guys, obviously, it doesn't make sense for them to pay those fees. It makes more sense for them to just let their stakes bleed at those fees and then just move over to the Pulse chain, right?
It totally depends. But even turtles and stuff, man, I mean, you'd be surprised. Like, you may have a stake that's worth 20 grand. Even if it costs you $1 grand to unlock it, it's still worth. So, we've used Ethereum this long, haven't we? So I think Hex on Ethereum will continue on for many, many years.
Right.
But
it's only going to help.
PulseChain, though, and Hex on PulseChain may be wildly more profitable and maybe way more valuable because of the low gas fees. So Hex on Ethereum will always be there. It'll always be cool. But regular hexes in the future, like PulseChain Hex, that may be top dog.
Yeah, totally agree. Other than that, I was going to say there are. What were the other fundamentals you were referring to with Pulse Doge compared to Bitcoin, Brandon?
Well, I was making the comparison that I thought that the total supply was going to be almost half of that of Bitcoin. So that in and of itself is amazing. Everybody wants these, low cap gems with low supply. Like that was the thing back in 2017, 2018, right? So now it's kind of like bringing back bell bottoms from the 70s. We're kind of bringing them back right now. and we got low supply, and that's really a cool thing because it's not something we've been used to in this community that much. Totally. So it might just be an extra little added trigger in the brain to say, oh, let me get a piece of that, let me FOMO in, even though it doesn't matter ultimately.
And after the 100 days, there's no inflation.
No,
you can't mint anymore, and that's all there'll ever be. So that's even different than Bitcoin too, because there's block rewards in Bitcoin every 15 minutes. So
yeah, I wish, you know, a lot of the people in my chat. Oh, hello.
I just added a while back, and we're getting his feedback. So he's gonna have to mute until he gets some headphones in, so his mic's not picking it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people in my chat, they were asking me before it launched. They're like, "What do you think about Pulse Dogecoin, et cetera, et cetera?" And you know, the unfortunate part of this was it smelled like a scam at first. And I still hear the echo. All right. And that's the issue. I was like, guys, listen, it could very well not be a scam, but there's no point in risking this right now. There's no point. Let's just wait. Let's wait for it to launch and see what happens. It's just the safe play. So I'm glad that it doesn't seem like one at all. And let's make some money now.
Mm-hmm. And I read the GitLab and the Etherscan contract and looked at them. I didn't see anything overtly fucked up. I didn't see any lines of code that didn't have a comment that explained what the line of code did, because that's really what I'm looking for. It's like little paragraphs, right? It's like, here's the description and here's what it does. And then you kind of got to look at it and be like, okay, you know. And then when I did the claim, it says right in your MetaMask claim function. And then boom, I knew it was legit and it was safe.
Well, he certainly cut through the noise. So if that was his marketing outcome that he wanted, he got that outcome.
And as Johnny says, it's 120 years until Bitcoin becomes capped. And the other thing is that they're issuing these coins to people that have all put their money where their mouth is. You know, these people have all locked up coins and promised to hold coins. And so that's who's getting this new coin, are people that have proven that they are willing to hold for at least a day. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Can we talk about all of the ghost money that you're going to receive just by having Hex staked over the next couple of years? Like that's an added benefit that nobody talks about.
I mean, I like that term, ghost money.
Dude, it's ghost money, man. It's cool. Staked Hex, and you're going to have all these projects that come on, and they're going to say, Hex stakers, Hexicans, we're going to airdrop you this and that. It's just going to be over and over and over and over again. And that's one unintended, very beneficial side effect of being a part of the Hex community.
Yeah, for Audeo, it says, so you guys are comfortable with the code. It's all good to claim. Like 50 people are asking him. Yeah, if you're worried about the code, you can disconnect your wallet after claiming.
Yes,
and then
you can check your permissions on your wallet after, and there's no spend permissions for anything. It's clean.
And where do you people go to check what connections are on their wallet, David?
Oh, right on etherscan.io. And then I forget the button. It's under like it's up at the top. There's one it's like a drop down menu, and then it says shit. Let me find it and actually tell you.
Johnny KS says he coined the phrase proof of shares.
Oh, cool. I guess he's talking about the ghost money type stuff.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, it's so true.
He says people don't talk code, but yeah, I would look at the value of the coins. And this was back in a while ago. There was a gas airdrop, and I claimed the gas airdrop because I had enough, gas that I'd spent in a couple of my wallets to make it worth the fee. But I didn't cash it out and move it over to Hex like I should have. So now that gas coin is worth absolutely nothing, like less than what I paid for fees. So that's one of the risks you take. It is you can cash it out when you claim it, or you can sit on it. That's the risk, really.
Pro tip: if you get a free airdrop, sell that shit and swap it to Hex. Swap that shit to Hex. Pulse Dogecoin, Uniswap, gas token, ENS. I don't care what it is. Dump that shit. Hedron,
Mango Junkie's got your back. You go to more tool and then token approvals.
Thank you on etherscan.io.
Yep, the more button to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Johnny Chaos is telling you how to disconnect your wallet from websites. Right there. Metamask, 3 dots, hit connections, and then disconnect from any websites you don't trust or want to be connected to.
So for Pulse Dogecoin, like I sold some, I saved some. I never sell all of any coin. So, but I totally took some money. You know what I mean? Like,
right now, and then what about the Maximus DAO token? Have you guys both done a deep dive into that?
Yeah, I read the white papers. I scanned over it for sure, and then I've watched all the activity on Twitter about it. I mean, it's great.
Dip Catcher, the Hexagon who basically wrote it, he did a video on his channel on YouTube, and he read every line of code of the smart contract, and he read the audit on YouTube live. So you just watch that video. That proved it all right there. I didn't even have to read shit. I just watched him. Boom, done. It was great. I minted a whole bunch of Maxi, and now you just chill on it.
Yeah, I took half of my liquid and minted Maxi with it. And I figure that way, if it dips, I can buy more. If it pops, I can just basically trade between my liquid Hex and Maxi, depending on the ratio, right? And either way, it's still in Hex, but the Maxi feels like it's doing work, right? It feels less lazy than your liquid Hex.
It does, because you still get to hold it. It's still in your wallet. You can count it. You can move it if you want. And I like on dexscreener.com, I watch the Maxi versus Hex chart, and you can see where it's like, oh, Maxi's worth a little more than Hex. Oh, it's a little less. Oh, it's a little more. And you can trade that, and you can play that and make some money if you want.
Yeah. Finbear's asking, what's the ticker? I actually haven't seen the Maxi ticker yet.
Maxi is MAXI, right? Or no?
Yeah, MAXI.
And does that just show up on
like the Nomics or Etherscan or dexscreener.com? That's my new favorite pricing website.
Yeah, Mango Duncan is saying MAXI is the ticker for it here. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then as far as Hedron, I'm giving Hedron about 5 years to find its legs and start kicking in with stuff like the auctions and the lending and that kind of stuff to bring, to really pump. I don't know what kind of time frame are you guys looking at when it comes to claiming your free Hedron or using your Hedron in the future for bidding on stakes and things of that nature?
Go ahead, Brandon. What do you think?
I mean, I would say, given the relationship and the liquidity pairs between Hex and Hedron, and then everybody talks about the cell wall that was created, et cetera, et cetera. I think that we're not going to have to wait 5 years. Personally, I think that once Hex takes off, Hedron's going to take off in a huge way, and I'm highly encouraging people in my group right now to pick up bags of Hedron, because it's extremely cheap. And when Hex takes off, Hedron's going to absolutely take off. That's my opinion. And I think that we'll see things settle down after the claim phase is over.
Yeah. And have either of you guys looked into P33? I haven't looked into that one at all.
Me either. Negative.
Yeah, I think that's made by the freepulse.io guys, Victor and the other guy.
No, that's what Gravy was saying here. He says, did Victor really make P33? Because Victor is a RH web designer.
Yeah.
Not sure.
They did. That is their project. They kind of just launched it unannounced, just like a meme coin, essentially. And it's done very well. It's taken off. It's up and to the right. It's fluctuating up and down, but it's following up in the right trend for sure.
Cool. And what's the use case or the pump metals of P33?
It's a meme coin through and through, and I'm not familiar with the pump metals, but they make that pretty clear. Like it's just it's a way to attract attention to the Pulse chain. It's an onboarding tool, which what memes are essentially.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I'm waiting for Hedron and Maximus token to suck all the liquid Hex off the market, and I think it's been doing. I think we've been seeing it slowly, kind of like a bottom forming and almost
I have a prediction for Hedron.
Yeah,
because I feel like right now it is oversold. Like I agree with you, Brandon. Like now is a good time to buy Hedron because it's bottoming out, man. We're still in the high minting phase. People are still getting bonuses. So yeah, there is a lot of new coins being generated. But once that auction house opens and people can realize, oh shit, wait, I can buy like HSI stakes using Hedron and I can actually get Hex using Hedron, that's when the price is going to take off. As soon as you start seeing that auction house fill up with dummies who took out loans on their HSI stakes, like then people are going to wake up and be like, oh, that's what it's for. So it's boring right now because there's nothing to do with it. But once it has that utility, I foresee a big pump.
Awesome.
I think the order book was cleared out. I mean, there was a person back on March 18th that sold the hell. I mean, they dumped a ton of Hedron, and it dumped the price down to about, I think, 6 zeros and a 7. That could be a floor if it makes it to that floor. I don't know if it will because Hex is looking it's looking stronger than it has in the past couple months. And if Hex takes off, you can guarantee that Hedron's going to follow suit within a day or two. So I've been dollar cost averaging the entire time into Hedron.
Good call. Good call. That's going to pay off big. I think you're right. I think we're not going to hit that 6 zeros and a 7. Yeah. Probably we might hit 5 zeros and a 1.
Right.
But that's it.
It's always fun to watch zeros disappear. Speaking from the first year of Hex, we were sitting there watching 4 0. Was there? I don't think there was a point when there was 5 zeros on Hex, but I know for sure
there's 5 zeros. Sure, back in the old days.
4 points. Yeah, 4 zeros I remember for sure. But yeah, 5 and then going down to 3, then 2.
Yeah, like 5 zeros and a 5, 225. That was the bottom lowest price ever of Hex.
Mm.
Yeah. Blue Bum's in the house. He says it's a way for whales to burn. It's also a way for whales to burn Hedron. So what was he talking about there?
At the auction house, buying the stakes, probably. I'm assuming that's what he's been. Absolutely. I completely agree. That's what I'll be using mine for mostly. That's why I was so bullish on it the whole time.
Yeah.
Part of my little diatribe yesterday at the park was I said that, sometimes I wake up and I've got all these channels in my Telegram and I'll just go in and stalk and read comments. And I chose Hedron yesterday and there were people in that chat and they were just like, how's Alex going to solve the problem of so much selling? What type of things is he going to put into place to create buy pressure? God. And like first off, I was like, man, I got to put myself in Alex's shoes. What does he think when he says this? And then I'm like, I got to put myself in Blue Bum's shoes because that fool, man, he gets bombarded. But then I remember, like, I was that person one time, right? And we just got to encourage these people to just have patience and stick to that DCA plan, man. And that's what works. And gosh, man, we're going to look back in 3 or 4 years. We're going to be like, man, I wish I was buying right now. I wish.
Yep. That's one of the biggest regrets in my life is I didn't buy enough Hex back in the beginning, in the first month. I wish I remortgaged my house. I wish I took out as many loans and credit cards as I could have. You know what I mean? Like
you learned your lesson, but you had to learn it because you wouldn't have learned it otherwise. There's no other way.
Yep.
The market teaches you what you have to know.
So if you're a fan of Hedron, this is that moment. This is that. It's been out for a month. It's at its next low. You'll never see these prices again. Time to buy some, and that's it.
Yeah, it's all about time frame, right?
Yep. Got it. Yeah, you got to time it right. Now's the time to be buying.
Awesome.
And the whole market's down. Now's the time. I mean, this is when you make your money. You make your money on the buy when the market is bear. You got that's where you don't make it in a bull run. You just don't. Yep. This is where you kill it. This is when I bought $500 worth of Dogecoin 5 years ago and then forgot about it. I would never have bought it other than 5 years ago, and I had tons and tons of coins. So that goes for anything that just launched. Really, as long as it has a big community and it's successful, and you know the founder, this and that, it works these days.
Yeah. Susie Q says slide number 3, Rags.
Whoa, slide number 3.
Far Out Alien says 5 Hedron wells have dumped this weekend, which is isn't that kind of what you want? Don't you want people just dumping the price to like I remember Hex was like 1 Satoshi at some point, and everyone was claiming that it was dead, it was over. And if you had gone and picked up 1 Satoshi Hex at that point, like some of us did when we traded our Bitcoin for Hex, it turned out pretty okay for us. Like even at 13 cents, people are doing pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good.
It's the same story with every crypto, the exact same story. People with huge bags initially dump, and you just redistribute wealth to the people who are willing to delay gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes out of Richard Hart's mouth, and it works every single time, and it always has since the beginning of crypto.
Brissology in the house. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, Brissology?
Hey, Brissology. How you doing, Briss? I'm going to say, even though we had some trouble with Jawa trying to join without getting his audio right, I've still got the link sitting in Crypto Sloth's Think Tank Telegram. So if you guys are in Crypto Sloth's Think Tank Telegram, I've got the link right there. You guys can come jump in the green room and join us and chop it up. Now, going forward, once everyone's trying to come up with the perfect game plan, like how do I, at what point do I buy all of this coin and swap it for all of this coin? And I think it's really hard to get through that mentality of the trade and timing the market, catching the falling knife, the gambler mentality, right? Because these are all winning lottery tickets. They have different time frames, as we were saying earlier, and it's really hard to get someone to think in terms of time frames versus waves. Like, oh, I'm going to catch this wave, I'm going to catch that wave. It's like, you really, unless you're one of the whales, like remember when the God whale pumped our price back in the day? You just have that line straight up and it never came back. Unless you're that kind of a player, you have no idea when the price is going to take off or crash. So all you can do is DCA and come up with a time frame of your own. I don't know how do you guys, when friends and family come to you and they want to make a ton of money in the next 2 months or 6 months, how do you address that paradigm? How do you try to get them to change their thinking from gambling to investing?
I tell everybody I actually tell, and this is what I do personally. Like, I do not contribute to a 401k at my work. Instead, I take whatever that money would be, $200 a paycheck, $100 a paycheck, and I take that and I put it into crypto. That's what I've been doing for years. And that's how I got here. So that's what I tell people to do, is treat it like 401k. You're going to buy every week and you're just going to hold it. And that's it. You just keep stacking and stacking and stacking. And then a couple of years later, you find out, holy crap, I did a lot of stacking. Oh, and the price went up. Wow, now I have a lot of money. Ta-da. That's it.
I tell people, like, first and foremost, let's initially figure out how much money you're willing to risk that you wouldn't be emotionally destroyed if you lost it all. So that just kind of sets the stage for them psychologically to forget about it. And then we're going to take half, we're going to keep it safe. We'll put it into like Hex, create a stake, and then we'll take the other half and I'm going to put it into a coin that just recently launched in this ecosystem, because that's the best place to be in all of crypto. If you can get in at the beginning of something that has a good track record, the founder has a good track record. And then, so they're going to get the stability. They're going to feel okay with their Hex. And then they're going to get the outsized returns with the other portion of their money. And then once they kind of see that and they're checking their Metamask and they're checking their portfolio and then it clicks, then they call you back and say, hey, let's talk a little bit more about this crypto. So you set the bait, you set the trap, and then you wait. You don't push it, because you can't make somebody do something they don't want to. So now this is very interesting. Okay, let's check this real quick. All right, Gravy. All right, you see that comment? I still got billions of Hedron to dump. Man, give me a better price to sell at. Highlight that real quick.
Up here on Gravy right there. Wow.
Yeah, cool. All right, thank you for that comment. Now go up about 5 more comments, and he says there's good staking coin with AVAX, 60%. Ooh, interesting. So this is a prime example. This is a prime example of somebody who is listening right now to this stream, and nothing is getting through to their brain whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. All right. What type of return are you going to make on your 60% AVAX? All right. So it's either this person is shilling a coin, or they're fudding Hedron to get people freaked out so they can keep the price lower. All right. So this is a perfect example. Highlight that. So thank you for that teachable moment.
Yeah. And like Far Out Alien says, why would you be dumping coins you're going to get a copy of if you think there's a use case or a community or any of that?
At the very beginning. At the very beginning of a project. This is crypto. This is how this works. This is how you make tons of money. This is what it is. And they're not listening. Or they're trying to screw their fellow man. So thank you for that teachable moment. I hope you respond.
Yeah. Ice Lavender says, my company won't let me use my 401k unless I quit or get the virus. I tried. So they're trying to get their 401k out, it sounds like.
Well, I had one, but you just liquidate it. They can't stop you from liquidating it, bro. It's not even like it's managed by a different company. It's not even your company. It's yours. You can totally sell it and take the tax loss and put it into crypto. I'm telling you, it can be done. Look into it.
Jawa says his wife came in hot. I'm not sure if that means she's angry or if he's, busy now.
Oh, that's angry. Oh, she came in swinging, spoon or pan or, yelling. I never know what I'm going to get.
Johnny Chaos, mainstream somehow changed people's perceptions for saving to trading, and trading is gambling. Savings is adding to your stack, not risking it. 401k, IRA, savings account. Yeah, it's and I would say it's even more than, because saving was just saving, right? Like the baby boomers saved, and anyone who went through the Great Depression psychologically has trauma that forces them to save and hoard and keep things on the shelf or whatever. But we live in a time right now when inflation is going to destroy everything that you've ever worked for.
Saving is losing.
Guys,
if you're
literally,
saving in fiat, yeah.
Dude, I this is what I did for a living in the past, right? And here's what really disgusted me. You run some of the numbers on some of these financial investments over the course of 20 or 30 years, and you save up, with your investments, you're using a financial advisor. 20 or 30 years, you might have $1.5 million to $2 million. You know how much money of that actually gets redistributed to the company that's managed your portfolio with the investment and the interest, etc. With $1.5 million to $2 million, it can average $200,000 to $400,000. That's what you missed out on just by redistributing. It's only 1.5%. It's only 1.5% that goes to us monthly to manage your portfolio. Are you freaking kidding me? Come on now. So this is what's so cool about cryptocurrency is it's you and the contract. There is no middleman. And if you guys have any curiosity about that, the actual math too is written down. Tony Robbins did a financial book. Now at the end of the book, he shills his company, which is kind of funny. But he does the math in there as well that shows like you've got to be really, really careful with financial advisors because you can learn everything that you need to learn in a very short amount of time to be successful in the markets in traditional finance.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. We got High Team Anzac Day in Australia today. The day Australia and New Zealand did the dirty work for our English colonial rulers back in 1950. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of Anzac Day?
No, I've heard of Prozac Day. It's every day.
Henry says people got to remember closed mouths don't eat. So not getting in early on this stuff when you can you're just going to end up regretting it. You got G pumped. Rags got me pumped. Rags is a pumpamental. And then we've got Hexagon Chief from New Zealand. Hey, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Jawa apparently is survived his wife coming in hot. He says, "Preach."
Well, she didn't. At least she didn't come in ugly. That's a plus. That's a fundamental.
Coming in ugly.
David Feeder's like, do I slap here or not? What do I do with my hand?
No, I just don't want to. I don't want to get hit. So I'm just watching my back. I'm looking for that. I'm going to catch it.
You got to.
It says Anzac Day is big in Aussie on Australia. So, and Jawa says he does what he wants.
I do what I want.
I do what I want.
Me too.
Every time I drive the wrong way in through a drive-through, and my wife's yelling at me, I tell her I do what I want. Okay, tell me what to do.
Totally.
Awesome.
Have you ever gone reverse through a drive-through, man?
No, that sounds pretty good.
I think we should do that and make a video. What do you think?
That would be pretty good.
But you go to the window where they give you the food, but you haven't ordered yet. So it's
can you just see them like freeze? They like cognitive dissonance. They can't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh man. Jawa says my wife makes Amber Heard look like a putty tat. Okay.
Huh.
Okay. So ANZAC stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps.
Oh, cool. I don't know.
Terrafin's gone reverse through a drive-through. Should have known that.
That's like every Saturday night for Terrafin.
The next live at the park, says G.
That's true. That's true.
I sent a link to Randy Hilarski. He might be available. He might not be available, but he's usually got he usually shares about the same sentiments as you guys when it comes to new coins, free coins. He's been in this game long enough to kind of see the trends, And
I look up to Randy. Yeah. I look at Randy as an OG. Yeah. Like he knows what he's talking about. He's seen it all.
Yeah, if you guys aren't following Randy on YouTube and watching his rooftop musings and him, adding this and that, he's got a really good perspective. So follow Randy Hilarski for sure.
I like his streams where he's like chest deep in tropical waters, just holding the cell phone up.
I know, right? He's like, I'm at the beach, guys. What are you doing? And I'm sitting here at my desk at work, right where I am here. I'm like, oh man, like, that looks great, Randy. Yeah. It's like, fuck. I'm here at my desk.
I do gotta apologize on the title here. It says special guest Crypto Coffee. Crypto Coffee was supposed to join us, but there was a scheduling conflict. So if you guys are here looking for Crypto Coffee, we're sorry. This is decaf today. We have some ginger tea, I guess, if you want to drink something.
I love coffee. God damn it. I don't want to drink ginger tea or decaf. Fuck that.
Dude, I was watching you guys' on the Steak and Bake 420 episode that went 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Always a good time. Yeah, man.
That thing was a marathon.
Yeah.
There was one.
Yeah, I didn't make the last one on 420 for 4 hours. I didn't get to stay the whole time for that one. It's hard.
I personally didn't start talking until after everybody took bong rips because I knew anything that I said would be absolute gold after that. So that was planned.
Yeah,
it's really cool to be sober on that show. Actually, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you one of the smartest ones in the room.
Exactly,
right?
Dude.
Because I don't know what's going on. I'm just
like a god.
Yeah, it's like I forgot everything I knew about crypto at that point.
I was expecting more people to just fall out on stream. Just you'd see them just sit back.
Well, T Agent,
that would just be it.
Dave, if you remember when T Agent, like everybody kind of looks at him and he's like just kind of looking down. He's like, guys, I'm messed up. I can't do this. And there's always that guy at every party. And that's what just makes everybody start cracking up.
Oh yeah. Tangent. Yeah. Tangent. He gets, because it's 4 a.m. at his time because he's in Australia. So yeah, he's passed out.
Oh, there's an N in there. I thought it was T Agent. Oh no,
it's Tangent. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. The TA, he just capitalized the TA because he likes to do technical analysis. And that's what his show's about.
Anthony Munoz in the house. What's up, Anthony? What's up, man? Jim Rat Crypto in the house. What's up, brother? How's life?
Yeah, how are you doing, Jim Rat?
Rocking the vibes, man. Yeah. I got some white vipes too. I'm gonna break those out in the next couple days. We'll be good to go.
Awesome. So as far as tech talk goes, since this is a tech related show, is there anything else people have been blowing up your DMs in this week, David, trying to figure out on Testnet or with these newer projects that are launching?
This past week it's been Pulse, Dogecoin, all the things, all the messages. So that's why I made that video about the stake rep one. I was like, all right, time to do it because everybody's asking for it, right? So I'm gonna revisit that because we got to get that working so that way stake wrap users can get some Pulse Dogecoin. But otherwise, to talk actual tech, I have one of the new firewalls here for one of the locations that I'm building for the validators, and it arrived in the mail. It's so fucking badass. It is so awesome. Like, oh man, had that fresh like tech smell. You unbox the like firewall and smell it, and then plug it in and get it going. Yeah.
So this is a physical firewall.
Yeah, it's one of 2 physical firewalls we're going to have in a redundant cluster at one of the locations. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See, the only time I've ever seen a physical firewall is in a car, right? Don't they call that spot between the engine and the car the firewall?
True. Yes.
They do.
And this is like, yes. And there's holes through it, right? For the firewall for like tubes for your car to work or like the heating, right? There's actual water tubes that go from the engine block to the heating pump inside your car. Well, that's exactly how a computer firewall works. But you're opening port numbers that let the computers talk through the wall, through the firewall. So it's called opening ports. Yeah.
Icelander asked, are you using AWS Outpost?
I am not. I am not using any third-party cloud-hosted services at all, period. I'm running all the hardware myself at all the locations with the other people I'm working with, and nope, ain't nobody doing nothing.
So when the whole world, when AWS goes down, you're the only one up and running.
If AWS goes down, then it'll definitely knock off most of the validators for PulseChain right now. Like probably half would go down if AWS went down.
Now, does Infura run on AWS or is Infura a different service?
Infura runs Ethereum nodes, and they're massive. They're a company that does it for business, right? And they run an AWS. Correct, they do.
And so when Infura has problems, and that actually takes the Ethereum network down.
When AWS goes down, if it takes or Infura goes down, then yes, part of Ethereum goes down.
You can change if Infura were to go down, though. You could change to a different network, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Metamask.
Yes, you're actually pointing your RPC in Metamask to a different node. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And you could do the same at PulseChain too in the future. Like, I'm not going to do it with my validator because that's not what it's for. I'm supposed to mine the blocks, but I could run another server with a public RPC that people could point their Metamask to, and they can always connect to the PulseChain on Metamask, even if other shit goes down. So that's exactly how this works.
Mm-hmm. Is there a preferred plan B that you use out of those other networks if you're having trouble with the Ethereum network?
I don't understand.
I mean, when you hit the drop down, it'll have like Robson, Testnet, and some other ones. If you change from Ethereum on MetaMask, is there one that you prefer over the others that most people go to?
You actually make a new one.
B?
Yeah,
a new one.
Yeah, I make a new one. Yeah. Yep. And then you connect to the Ethereum mainnet with a different one.
Those are just Ethereum's test nets, correct?
All those other ones are just tests. So you got to make a new one if you want to connect to the real Ethereum via a different server.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do with PulseChain too. That's exactly how PulseChain will work. Like day one when it starts, and Richard's like, yeah, you could use it. Like we're clicking MetaMask, new network, PulseChain, mainnet, then the network ID.
Awesome. Here's a question. Yolish says, do you need private keys if you have the seed phrase? Different advice given to community Papa versus Pulse abides.
So like when you have a seed phrase and you got your 12 words or 24 words.
Whoa.
Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on, my man?
So this is go ahead.
So if you have a seed phrase and you got your 12 words, 24 words, that lets you generate a bunch of addresses. And then you can take one of those addresses and you can pull out the private key, right? And then it's just this one little address and this one little key. Those go together. But when you have a seed phrase, you get like unlimited wallets, which each come with their own unlimited private keys.
Oh, okay. So the private key is per account, but one seed phrase can cover a whole bunch of accounts within a wallet. Correct. So that's the main difference between those two. And then another one I didn't want to lose here. Far Out Alien says, any breakdown on the nodes and what percentage breakdown on which networks? I don't know if he's asking, is he talking about the Ethereum network or the PulseChain testnet?
Not sure. I'm going to assume he's talking about, let's say, PulseChain testnet. Sometimes the validators break, or maybe they go offline, and then they start getting slashed and felony. And once they get a felony, they're kicked out.
Right.
Yeah. For ETH, like nodes just go offline and come online. I don't think you really even feel it or know it. Cool, it's hard to tell. I'm not sure what percentage are down or up. Like there's no way to check or tell that not that I care about or have.
Hey, Morphers21, how are you doing? Did you find us through the think tank?
Yeah, I had to go on I couldn't find the link to the think tank, so I had to go on his video, try to find where the link to his private Telegram was. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, we can hear you.
His private Telegram, which only has like 30 some people in it. And then I found the link, so here I am.
Yeah, it's
I think you just let me on like this, though.
It's not as fun and crazy as Rag's Telegram. He has a lot of riffraff in his Telegram. You never know what you're going to get in Rag's Telegram, but in Crypto Sloth's Telegram, it's usually some pretty good thinkers in there. So that's where I went for a little bit of brain.
You get drive-by thinkers in my Telegram. They come and they go. It's like 757 members one day and then 747 the next day. That's how that works. Plus or minus 10.
Yeah.
Depending on my right-wing videos, we'll see what happens.
Yep, Kay says, why is your screen on your ceiling?
What's that?
It looks like you're looking up at your ceiling for your screen.
Oh.
That's how mine used to be too. And my wife was like, it looks like you're looking at the ceiling. But I didn't move it because I didn't want to. I want to admit this.
I have my MacBook, but I have this like Mevo camera that I'm using, and I'm like trying to sit up because I don't do this too often, but I can move it up a little bit to make it look. Because then I got a separate widescreen monitor all set up above my MacBook.
Now we can see your schedule for the next month. You got to fill that in, man. I didn't even see like push-ups or arms or legs day on that.
Oh, it wasn't. I got to start working out. We're getting a treadmill here pretty quick.
That's good. That's good. Bobby Hexelrod says, hey, R2R, my oldest daughter, Alex, is a big horse buff, and she just schooled me that Rags to Riches was a horse that won the 2007 Belmont Stakes. She's an instant fan, LOL.
Well, listen, let me tell you about horses, all right? There once was a time where old Rags to Riches actually rode a horse, and that horse's name was not Rags to Riches. It was actually Bambi. And Bambi disliked me to the point where during the course of the trail that we were on, Bambi tried to bite me. Bambi tried to rub me off on a tree multiple times, almost crushed my right leg. And Bambi would neurotically just take off as fast as possible. They don't like gingers on their back. So just want to let you know, Alex, thank you so much for the support. And I don't care much for horses, but come hang out in the chat. We'll have a good time.
Have you ever been kicked in the nuts by a calf?
No,
or run over by a steer?
3 women.
I've had a sheep step on my feet before and almost break them. They're dumb and they are heavy.
Yeah.
Scott McLaren says, what about the tokenomic and name of the incentive token? It seems like no one's talking about that. Do you think that the incentive token is done, David?
That's actually one of the items on the list that does need to get finished. It's giving that stupid thing a name. Everybody's so concerned with it. It's like, it's just it's not a meme coin, but it's almost a meme coin. Like, it doesn't really have a fucking purpose. Like, It just is a coin you get if you put liquidity in PulseX, the exchange. That's it. That's all. Like, so.
It helps. Yeah, I mean, I guess the incentive token definitely helps offset any type of impermanent loss. It kind of incentivizes people to provide liquidity and offset that.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons. Yeah,
and it has value. It is rare, but it does inflate. So there will be more. You're like, it's a coin you can mine by providing liquidity. And I love mining coins. That's how I got into Hex. And I love mining coins. So that's how you mine the incentive coin. But it is what it is. You know, it just exists.
Right. K4K says his favorite horse name is Hoof Hearted.
We had a horse that was called like Rocky. I can't remember his full name. Is some crazy full name they like to do, but then the short name was Rocky. He was a good horse.
It'd be cool to have like a horse named Chinese food. Would that be funny or not?
I once rode a mule. The mule's name was Elmer, so you could tell it was already destined for the glue factory. And this stupid mule went under every low-hanging tree that we ran on. My kids were dying because I was just getting like swept off the mule, and it would just eat with its head down and walk straight into trees.
Jawa says gluey.
Gluey. Says Rax transition from horse into human male. Don't know if he kept the joint horse. Anyways, I don't know why Yupke is the one that's always asking for a pants check as well. Have you noticed that? There we go. So now we got Morphers has the horse filter on.
Value provided.
I can't turn it off.
That's what she said.
How do you turn it off? Like that lawyer with the cat. How do you turn this off?
Oh, shoot.
Oh.
Find a better one.
There you go. Now you got your sunglasses.
So I guess I want to join you guys. Like I've been thinking about crypto, and I've been in Hex for almost a year now, but I've been trying to figure a way how to put my 2 cents into everything, and I think Hex is like seriously lacking like marketing, PulseChain and all that too. So I was like trying to figure out how I could contribute to that. I don't have the money to do it, but I was thinking if I could get some kind of thing going. But my idea was to do some kind of maybe DAO, marketing DAO, and like, and then I was going to set up like a YouTube channel, like a Mr. Beast style YouTube channel. Where you wouldn't necessarily put like Hex stuff in the forefront of it, but you do like kind of the background would be Hex advertising and stuff, but then you like do good for like regular people. I don't know. I hope I didn't take this too off topic for you guys.
Too off topic. Just start, man. Start your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The great thing about this community is if you're making that content, you're helping pump everybody's bags. They really rally around you. So that probably would be step one, man.
Yeah. So I'm into like renewable energy type stuff. I read up on it and track that stuff. I invest a little bit into here and there. So I was going to like try to incorporate that stuff since I know. I haven't like keeping up on the topic for how long. So I'm trying to like.
I was gonna say, if you like fossil fuels, there's that Mad Energy project that's supposed to be tokenized like oil derivative on PulseChain or something like that.
Fossil fuels are the devil. Why would I want to do that?
Fossil fuels aren't the devil. They're fine.
They're fine in small amounts.
Well, society can't survive without them.
Yeah, once we can transition is the key.
Why don't we transition to nuclear?
Nuclear is great too. I love nuclear.
How come they don't want to do that though? That's the obvious answer.
Because the earthquakes, when there's a tsunami and the shit blows up and humans are stupid, and when it breaks, it makes a mess and it kills people and it's poison.
Yeah, well, if they do it right, engineer it right, like they have small nuclear stuff that you can do, just real tiny reactors. They've really engineered the next generation of those things, but nobody wants to do it because of all the
The stigma.
The stigma. Exactly.
I agree. New systems are fine. I'm actually more worried about how many 1950 nuclear reactors are out there still in countries right now that need to be like decommissioned and cleaned and refurbished. Like, yeah, those are the scary ones. Actually, I completely agree. Like a new nuclear power plant, it's going to be amazing.
The thorium reactors, like Hopperman 99 says here, thorium's supposed to be a lot safer than the uranium.
Okay.
And the other one, I forget what the other one is that they use. But the thing is, why haven't there been any new nuclear reactors? And I think they only did one thorium test reactor, and it worked just fine. They got really good results from it. But there's got to be a reason that someone is, not allowing the
fossil fuel guys. I'm sure have a lot of guys in the Washington pushing people away from that.
I don't think it's that. Like, you look at
part of that.
Well, I thought America has a lot, and Germany just recently turned theirs off, but now they've like turned them back on, and they're going to build more because they want to get away from fossil fuels. So like, Germany's doing it. I don't think the U.S. is. I think they're just maintaining what they have, if I'm not mistaken. They're not building new ones, but we're not decommissioning.
Right.
We're just chilling on them.
Yeah. Shout out to Elliot Brand. He's in the house.
Brand the man.
Someone else is saying molten salt reactors. I've never heard of the molten salt reactors.
Those are more about taking heat and like from the sun, directing a bunch of heat rays towards a molten salt like collector thing where it collects all the heat and heats up molten salt. And then basically just acts like a steam power. You run wire through pipes and make it steam.
The answer to the energy problem, as described by John Metcalfe, who made Metcalfe's law, was actually decentralization of the power grid
and diversification.
Yeah. So you have, if one part of the grid goes down, you can redistribute energy to that sector, and then you're fine. Everything's so centralized energy wise right now. It's not good. So whether it's solar or whether it's nuclear, that's what we should be pushing towards. I think at least that's what he says.
We need to put a lot more money into fusion. Is my big takeaway.
Is fusion attainable?
Yeah, there's a lot of research going on into it, and there's little companies doing things that are going faster than the big.
I guess the molten salt reactors. Is the thorium that they're talking about. Hopperman says molten salt is thorium. So did Icelander. So everyone knows this except for me. So we are the.
I didn't know that either.
We're obviously the experts on these subjects. So we're just wondering, shooting the breeze about. Now let me. This kind of makes me think about the idea that RH brought up about having our own territory, our own country, our own, space, our own sovereign space as hexagons. And an idea that I came up with instead of having an island or buying or going in and having a contract with another government is, why don't we all have our own little hexacos wherever we live, right? So I can start a little hexaco here in the States. Some people can start their own little hexaco. And so basically have almost like embassies around the world, right? So that would decentralize where hexaco is versus one specific physical location. What do you guys think about that as a business model?
Well, what do you mean exactly? Your own little hexaco? Are you saying your own little sovereign territory, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be sovereign at first because it'd be in the States, but you could have almost a bunch of little satellite people that were in a network that were all agreeing to donate or share this space with other hexagons, right? So you almost have like an Airbnb network, or maybe like a compound kind of network. So if you're on my side of the States,
trigger the YouTube algorithm. You got to be careful, bro.
Yeah, what?
Like say commune, not compound.
Intentional community. How's that sound? So you have your own little intentional community, your own little village, wherever you're at. And it doesn't have to be your own personal house, but it can be maybe some land near where you live, where you provide like the basic necessities, maybe some buildings, electricity, water, and the sort. And it can start out just as like a network of places that you can go and be with different hexagons, no matter what country you're in, because we've gotten to the point where we almost have a hexagon in almost every country I can think of. Besides, I mean, obviously, and well, no, actually, there was one guy that was taking pictures down in Antarctica. Yeah. So there's hexagons almost everywhere, and it kind of goes along the same lines as the virtual passport. Who is it that has been pushing the virtual passport? It's not Liechtenstein. It's the other one.
Schwab or
Talk about Estonia.
Estonia has a virtual passport, a virtual citizenship.
I heard that didn't go around very well. I heard that didn't work out, actually.
Maybe that
back in 2017, Estonia was like, that was like the crypto person's place if you wanted to run away. It was like, I'm going to Estonia. Like, I'm going to be a blockchain citizen. Like, yeah, that. But I mean, I like the idea of a special economic zone. I think Hexaco should be a fucking city, fucking huge, or just like Florida. Just give us the state of Florida.
Boom. What's his name?
Crypto Heartbeat is calling it Ragslandia. Sorry, go ahead, Morphers 21.
Oh, what's this guy? The guy in Ecuador is doing a lot down there.
Frosty,
that's his name. Yeah.
Frosty's been putting in the work in Ecuador.
He's putting in the work,
for sure.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Guys, we're going to the North Sudan, Southern Egypt. That's where we're going. I'm telling you, man, it's perfect.
Why?
Plenty of sunlight all year round, renewable energy. There's a huge lake to the northwest. Folks, we got this, man. If they could do it in Dubai, we can do it here. Except for the money part. That's the difficulty.
Yeah.
Unclaimed territory.
Yeah, I think the great thing, Bitfinesse says, so long as property rights or the rules or whatever I'm in, which, yeah, and that's the whole point. Like, the great thing about having a physical location is you have a physical location. The drawback to having a physical location is now you have a physical location.
And a place where they can anonymous.
Come. Yeah, it's a point of attack, right?
Yep.
Or, so where if you had a whole bunch of different little hexacos all over the place, you would always have
decentralized, right?
Yeah, decentralize it. That's just my thoughts on it. I
want a base on the moon. That's what I want.
Wild SJ likes the idea, but what about taxes? I think the big reason we're trying to have sovereignty is taxes. That's true, but how many countries are actually competing for citizens in the last 2 years since they've made it difficult to the freedom of movement has been stepped on so much lately. That's the thing is, as long as people can move freely, then countries and governments have to compete by lowering their taxes, right? But if you can't go anywhere, there's no incentive for them to give you a good deal on taxes, right? Icelander says Hexaco luxury ship that goes around the world with an emergency submarine.
For the biggest whales, only the biggest whales get access to the emergency submarine, right?
Right. Crypto Heartbeat knows a guy who buried a bus in Waco. So there's your first Airbnb right there. Why are you laughing there, Rags?
Because
is that you? Did you bury a bus?
Is that your rumor? Did you start that rumor?
Waco?
It's not YouTube algorithm worthy, so I'm shutting my ginger mouth right now.
That's why I'm not saying nothing either, man. This is all being recorded, man. Yeah, it's like
Bearded Saint is happy to be the community roofer. Bitfinesse, I've been running my business like I run my crypto. Phenomenally successful. Apply what Hex teaches you and go dominate elsewhere. Take this whole thing over.
What does Hex teach you that can be applied to a business?
I think he's talking about delayed gratification.
So how does that work with business? You don't grind with Hex. You just buy and hold. How's that?
Yeah, and most business owners go out and buy $80,000 diesel trucks, and they get everything wrapped, and they live paycheck to paycheck, even though they're business owners. Problem, that might be what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Madeira.
while SJ's talking about van life meets Earthship, that's where she's going.
There you go. Earth. How about 3D printed houses? We can do that.
Those are kind of cool, man. Those are coming along pretty good now.
I prefer 3D printed firearms.
Oh no!
Speaking of things you're not supposed to say.
Hold on, yeah, David. Like,
let's not talk about that.
I like 3D printed Glocks. How about that?
With a serial number.
Crypto Heartbeat says tons of cheap land in West Texas.
Isn't that the desert?
It's pretty much desert country. I think.
Renewable water.
Do you guys have any updates on Texas? On Texas's idea of being more sovereign from the federal government?
Well, there's a lot of videos that Crypto Heartbeat has done and what we've done, and there's a lot of info out there to be looked at. Absolutely.
Okay. Charles says, I hear there are huge gold deposits barely being touched in the Congo.
I've seen the movie Congo when I was a kid. I'm never going there.
You saw what?
I saw the movie Congo when I was a child.
Oh.
I will never go there.
What was that? What was
Raindrop
that movie
drink?
It's about they had the gorilla who knew sign language, and they brought her there. But then, like, the gorillas that were in the Congo were all murderous and killing everybody.
Right.
It was like a bloodbath. So yeah.
Because
we're not going to the Congo.
They were bred to be very angry and very murderous. To watch over the diamonds.
We got people asking about the Pulse Lightning Network and people trying to get a fiat on-ramp via the Pulse Lightning Network. I haven't looked at the Pulse Lightning Network at all. The only Lightning Network I'm familiar with is the one that they've been trying to use with Bitcoin and Litecoin. And as far as I know,
I know what they're talking about.
It's basically like the Lightning Network that I know of right now is like a really, really horrible Visa. Right, that they're running on Bitcoin and Litecoin.
Well, yeah, like Lightning Network, it sucks, man. It's just like it's its own protocol, and it's like private trades between servers and like channels they call it, and you like put your crypto in the channel and you can trade with somebody. Who cares if that's coming to PulseChain? That's fucking useless. Like PulseChain's going to be fast and cheap. Like we don't need Lightning Network.
So this says Pulse LN allows you to swap PLS and Lightning Network BTC in less than 10 seconds for low fees. PulseChain users can now instantly access thousands of low-cost services on the Lightning Network, including BitRefill, which is gift cards, BitCart, which is Amazon, Strike, which is fiat, and more. And Bitcoin users can finally instantly access PulseChain, the fastest layer 1 blockchain and the most high-volume yield savings asset in the cryptoverse. So I guess you want to get your Bitcoin over, I guess that's not a bad thing. It's going to be wrapped, I guess. Going to be PPDC.
I don't understand how that gives us a fiat on-ramp, though. Do you?
I think they're making the point that the Strike, you can use Strike
Network,
which is a fiat. Yeah, this is fiat. Just like I guess in your MetaMask wallet, I think you can use Apple Pay now, for example. That's kind of like a fiat on ramp as well.
Is it Strike STRIKE or STRIPE?
No, Strike KE.
Okay.
But I'm talking out of my butt here. I'm not familiar with this project. I just got on the website and I'm looking at all the documentation here.
Bitfinesse is responding to what he's learned from Hex for Business. He says, look for outsized returns where there's no competition with lowest overhead possible and create value in the world. Take competition's customers and dominate. Offer customers what they want and give them the best deal on what they need. So that's what he's taken from Hex as far as, I think, the way it's addressing the crypto, industry.
Good advice.
Bruceology's got some good information on serial numbers.
That's not how it works.
Thank you, Bruce.
The gorilla's name was Amy, David. Nardo for the wind. He also remembers Congo.
Yeah, man. I remember on the plane in the beginning, Amy wants raindrop drink, and they were giving her like
sesame cake,
vodka martinis to calm her down. Yeah, man.
Do Do you think that OA will always be selling Hedron down, not trying to FUD? I don't know. I haven't tracked the OA claiming and dumping Hedron.
Well, the
OA hasn't sold yet, right?
They
put up a wall, right?
Yeah, I think the OA put up a sell wall, and the OA put like a bunch of liquidity in Uniswap of like Hedron versus Hex. So yeah, it's just like all the values getting sucked out of Hedron into Hex. It's kind of funny actually, but
Hopperman says this: the Principality of Sealand, its own sovereign nation on the oil rig. I think that's the one I saw where they were off the coast of like Thailand or something like that, and they had the Navy come after them just for claiming that they had sovereignty. Is that the one there?
Well, if you're in international waters, I don't know how much.
I want to have the same quality of life that I have now or better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, my version of Hexaco is down in, see this data center I'm in where all the PulseChain validators are run? I'm in a mountain like 500 feet down. We are deep down in there. So it's an underground tunnel.
You're where the Stargate's at, right? Isn't that where the Stargate's at?
Exactly. That's 3 doors on the left.
Okay.
I think wherever you start as a brand new
is that where
country,
the box is from Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
Where's the box go?
I think it's got to start out as a vacation destination, so you're not completely dependent upon living there as a sovereign citizen, and then seeing how it goes. You know, almost like a testnet country.
And Briz, I just want to let you know, he says that's a badass Michael Crichton movie. Crichton was my favorite author by far. Briz, you misspelled the word far. You put 3 more R's than you should have, just to let you know.
That's how far ahead Michael Crichton is in the other.
I'm deep
authors.
in the dad memes lately, folks. It's getting bad and starting to bleed over into other areas of my life.
Imagine a whole city full of seed phrases and no plausible deniability to wrench attack. Everyone should have firearms and training like the U.S., but better. I don't know what they were meaning to spell.
Mando civil service, 18 to 24 months.
There you go.
Ross Hex says it was only roughly based on a true story.
With the movie Congo? Yeah, dude. I mean,
do you want to get in here a bit?
I think they try to teach gorillas sign language. That's probably about.
Well, I think there is one that did learn. I think there was a gorilla who did, I forget what the real one's name was.
You probably think dinosaurs are real bristology. Maybe.
Yeah, they're called birds.
And he said, Hex dinosaurs are fake. The bones are made in factories in China.
Just like everything else.
And then he said, China is real? Okay. Got all sorts of questions going on now. This has been an interesting tech talk.
Well, there's some people that only think there's like a couple 100,000 people on the planet and that's it. That's kind of some crazy stuff going on there.
How long till we get a good fiat on-ramp for Hex and Pulse in America?
That could be 2 years, man.
That big exchange is coming, isn't it?
I don't think it's they didn't. I don't think you can use it in the United States. It was like KuCoin or some shit. I don't think so. I mean, Coinbase, like if Circle authorizes PulseChain, then we can get PulseChain on Coinbase. But I think there's $1 million listing fee, and Richard refuses to pay. So it's gonna take some time. That's gonna be a long time. I'm bearish on that, sadly.
Yeah, I'm just tired of buying Ethereum and USDC to get over into my MetaMask, you know.
No.
Sadly, that's going to be around for a while. That's still going to be the best, is going to Coinbase, buying USDC, and then bridging it into PulseChain. That'll be your best way in for probably quite some time.
If you guys just joined Tech Talk, my name's Brandon. We have X-Ray Vision here and David Feeder, and then this other guy. What's up, other guy?
Yo, I'm the other guy.
There's 114 people watching us right now, and I don't understand why. So thank you. If you would like to, you could turn off now and save time. Save energy.
Well, this is the one I look forward to watching. You guys, Tech Talk.
Really?
There's a few other ones I like to watch, but
what's the allure in your opinion?
Just I like the Tech Talk type stuff.
That part,
about validators, servers, and devs and stuff. I'm a PHP developer, I do Redis stuff too, and like NoSQL and that stuff. So I've been into that for a while. So that's why I like tech stuff.
Word. All right. Oh yeah, that's mad respect, man. Because that's
where
cool.
Where do most of the PHP developers go for work? Who's paying the best when it comes to writing software right now?
I don't know. It's kind of a WordPress is the biggest PHP stuff. So if you're getting the WordPress side of things, still millions of websites that use WordPress. But I don't know a lot of. I built my own business with the PHP. I had to learn it myself and just to build my own business. But I've never actually gotten a job with PHP. It's all I spend my own stuff. So I don't know.
Awesome. And how long have you said you've been in Hex for about a year? What was your crypto story before you found Hex?
So yeah, I back in like 2013 or something, I somehow learned about it and sent an email to my dad about this whole crypto thing, and then I started mining a little bit. I can't remember what I mined. I think it was Bitcoin maybe, but I don't have any Bitcoin to show for it now. But I got some motherboards, put them in an egg crate, and started mining, and then I've done mining here and there. I've mined Ethereum. I almost had a petahash of Bitcoin miners a few years ago, and then I sold most of that stuff off. And what else? Ethereum. I'm mining. I got like 3 Helium miners going in town here.
Is that worth? Is Helium okay? Is Helium okay? Is that worth?
Well, it's like they're growing so fast that their network is just going to dog shit. But they're supposed to be like fixing that in the next month or so, because they're kind of switching how they do the validation and stuff on that. But the price is going down slowly here because of the bear market, obviously. But it's I still can't. I keep mining. I'm trying to get about $3,000 worth, but I can't get up above 3,000 because the price keeps going down, even though I keep collecting more helium. So I don't know. Hopefully, they're trying to add 5G to it. Like Dish, they're supposed to be like setting up nodes at people's houses with the 5G to kind of build out their network. So that's pretty. I think in the next few years, it's if all things go well, I think the Helium network will definitely be all the better for it. So,
I saw this article, I think today or yesterday, and it said college student making $834 a month mining Bitcoin. But what the article failed to say was his power bill was $3,000 a month to make $834 a month. And
I had access to pretty cheap electricity, so I was making money. But that was around when it was like $10,000 a BTC. If I would have kept going and not sold off and stuff, I'd probably be a lot better off right now.
If you take, you have got to have a tremendous amount of machines to really make it worth it, because if you just invested that same amount of money, you'd probably be much, much, much more profitable in something else.
Yeah, that's the whole point of all mining hardware. You would have been better off buying the coin and holding.
Well, yeah, unless you have 100.
Thank you for reminding me.
It's no fun.
As I look at my validator firewall and the gear over here, it's like, yeah, thank you for.
It's smiling at you, flipping you off.
That's a service. That's a service of love, David. That's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
You're
this
in
is
it
a hobby.
for the tech, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh, Jawa needs a group hug.
I had to kick my dog to feel power. It's like a country music video over here. You drink Budweiser too.
Tendies is in the house. Bobby Hexelrod is in the house. Heinz Crypto is in the house. I always wanted to hide a miner at my job, says Wendy's.
I've been there, bro. I hear that, dude. I seen it. I may or may not have ever done it.
The problem is the miner sounds like an aircraft carrier hangar. My aunt miner did, dude.
There's a lot of people getting into the whole immersion cooling stuff. I tried doing that, but it was more of a kind of hobby.
The mineral
DIY
oil?
Thing. Yeah, well, there's a special mineral oil that they
whatever it is.
that's works with the ant miners and stuff, with the seals and all that.
And then you put them in like fish tanks, like a fish tank, right? And you fill it
Yeah, you
with
can do it in a
mineral
fish
oil.
tank. That's like the easiest way of doing it.
Okay.
Has anyone hit a miner in their prison wallet? Probably not, Chris.
No. Well, I mean, they make a little flash drive size one, so you could. You can get one into prison if you want with your prison pocket.
RH owns 92% of Pulse, and PulseX developers 1%. Big Wells 2%. What will do 5% more? Wait 10 years to make. I don't know what you're saying.
You should rephrase that. Is that a question or a statement?
I don't know what that is. Search. Try again.
Yeah.
Mr. Prophet 74 said, "What's up, peeps?" Yeah. Hey, let's. I was gonna move the conversation back to another question I had to ask you guys about, which was when it comes to the Testnet. There, I listened to an interview recently. I'm not going to name the coin, but they said that they didn't want to go on Testnet because they wanted everything to work first. And I always thought that's a strange thing to say about Testnet, because Testnet is allowed to be ugly. It's allowed to have bugs. It's supposed to have bugs, right? What would you say if someone said, we don't want to run our Testnet yet because we want it to run smoothly
what was
before
the question?
Testnet? Someone was asking one of the projects why their Testnet wasn't up and running. And the answer by one of the persons on this project was, like they said, well, we don't want all these problems on Testnet. We want it to run smoothly before we release Testnet. And so
is that what Solana did?
So yeah, I don't know what Solana did, but it did not work. Whatever they were trying.
Sounds like they don't have the code.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
That's what I was thinking too, because the ego angle doesn't quite, make sense from that direction either, right?
Can I have a hint? Does the ticker of one of their coins, is it LL?
It is.
Okay, all right. So project with the ticker LL. Okay,
yeah, it's one of their answers that I wasn't really satisfied with.
Yeah, that's some bullshit right
private
there, man.
chat too, guys. I just put that out there. I think I heard the same thing for those folks, but I don't know for sure.
That's
I haven't looked into the second one, but the first one, that was definitely one of the questions that was asked. I thought, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And there's no oracles.
Yeah, so, and Bob, that's the other question is, are we ever going to get to the point in crypto where we can trust an oracle pointing at a price?
I mean, you hope like Link supports PulseChain and they come over, right? Because Chainlink is like all the good validator oracles on Ethereum.
Yeah, Chainlink seems to have convinced most people to believe its ability to do oracle, right? To trust its oracle.
Yeah,
and they've done that by skin in the game. Is that right? Where if you mess up your oracle, you pay.
I don't know the details of it. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
All I know is it was software that but anybody could use it. I thought, where if I wanted to make a oracle, it's just a piece of software. It's a script. And I just say, hey, check the price in this database or check this database number. And that's the data. And it just feeds it into the server. That's really all it is. It's nothing like super fancy.
Yeah, because the blockchain can't reach out to the World Wide Web. So you have to feed it the information in order for it to know, for other for the smart contracts to know what prices are on the World Wide Web outside of itself. So you have to have one, but in order to have one,
and as long as you have an oracle, you'll have an incentive for someone to mess with the information on that oracle to benefit themselves. Yes.
Yeah, it's possible. Definitely possible.
Sure. I mean, they might be incentivized with it. They don't want to. Probably the person running it doesn't want to mess it up because they want it to work. I would imagine, right? So I don't know. It really depends on, in my opinion, the data feed. Because let's say I make an oracle. I want the price of Bitcoin for US dollars from Coinbase. All right, cool. They have an API from their servers, and it feeds me the data. And that's it, if that's all I'm looking at. Now, this particular project wants to do that with here's all the prices from Binance, prices from Coinbase, prices from PulseX, prices from Uniswap, and it's going to merge them all together. And that's how they get their price to do their peg. So I don't know. It sounds like a bunch of, I don't know how that's going to work, but yeah.
Liberty Watchman says 2 hexagons have secured money changer licenses in all 50 states, according to Motley.
That's awesome. Good. Great.
Ollie says a lot of things that haven't happened yet.
Expound on that.
On the money changer licenses, or on the other one that we're talking about. And this is the other thing. What I'm just going to say, like I said, it was the interview with Fashion Coder and Just Ask Jesse, right? So it was for the liquid loans that I'm referring to, and I did learn a lot about stable coins from Jesse. Jesse would be a great person to sit down and talk about stable coins with, because that's a whole nother monster in crypto is stable coins, right? Like, what backs them up? How do you trust that they're actually worth the dollar, right?
They come in a lot of different flavors.
They sure do. And
So,
like I said, I learned
yeah.
a lot by listening to Fashion Coder's interview when it comes to stable coins. But then again, I think their sacrifice phase, they got about $50 million in their sacrifice phase.
Well, that should be plenty of money to hire the devs to build whatever they need. So,
well, my question, I just don't. I find that a crazy amount of money to raise without having a test net or a code for people to start poking at and messing with.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust that you're gonna have.
That's a lot of. I think that's more FOMO than trust.
Yeah, FOMO and trust.
It's that's the name. That's the name of the game in crypto, folks. It happens over and over and over. That's just what it is.
Right. Maxi did reach 152 million hex that are committed so far. And Nardo's saying, stop sending coins to Maxi, LOL. Because I think 150 million is where you cap out you max out the bigger pays better bonus, right?
10%.
Yep.
Now,
but that's at 10%.
Yeah,
correct.
150 million is top.
Which is good now, but people who are still joining now on their hex stake, they get 10%, just like all of us. So it's good. The more, the better.
Yeah, and that is a lot of supply locked up. Now, granted, you can still unmint your Maxi for the next 5 days, or you can, convert it, mint your Maxi for the next 5 days. So I don't see it going down, but there's still 5 days for people to FOMO into the Maxi contract right there. So that's pretty interesting too.
I'm still wondering if I want to do it or not. I'm not sure.
I cut off Brandon on questioning what the other guy meant with his comment about Motley. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Were you asking about the comment for Motley or the other one, Brandon?
Oh, you said something about Motley says a lot of things that hasn't come to pass.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he mentions all these projects that are coming, so we don't know what's going on. I obviously don't think he's lying or anything, but the things he says they're always like future events. So it's
okay.
At least whenever I catch him on streaming. So I don't know.
We've got a question from Scott McLaren. When you receive Pulse reward from staking to a validator, is the Pulse liquid and you have to manually stake it, or will it be an auto compounder?
It's liquid and you have to manually restake it. So it does not auto compound. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah. And then Wendy says it's true Liberty, but what they do with it remains to be seen. So Wendy's is backing up Motley's claim that some people have some money transmitter licenses, but we're waiting to see what they do with them.
Just to be transparent, I'm what's his face? Motley. He blocked me on Twitter. I say too many things that are not to his liking. So. And somebody's like, I don't like this guy.
Well, I've had a great time with Legion VC with the pools for PulseChain and PulseX. Everything worked out great on the testnet, and so that was cool. So I like those guys at Legion VC, in my opinion.
Funding Jim suggested a quarterly Maxi launch. Very smart.
Maxi 1, Maxi 2,
no more
Maxi
Maxi.
3.
No, fuck that. No. One Maxi. We're good. Nope, that's it.
Hey, as long as it's getting locked up for 15 years, I don't see anything wrong with it. That's all the liquid hex we can get off the market, the better, I say.
That's not wrong. Okay. All right, guys, it's dinner time here. I got to skedaddle.
All right, buddy.
Let me say thank you very much for coming. You were definitely the people come here just to look at your beard and sometimes ask you technical questions. So I want to say thanks again for coming, joining us on Tech Talk, David. I really appreciate it. Let everyone know what you're working on and where they can catch your come follow and subscribe to him on YouTube. Go like all his videos, comment on his videos, get him pushed up to the top. Let as many people find David as possible that are out there looking for crypto information, right? And then also on Twitter at David Feeder. Are there any other places people can find you?
No, that's perfect. That's it. Yep. Twitter, YouTube. I'll be there, man. I'm working on my PulseChain validator right now, playing with all this stuff right here, man. Enjoying the tech life.
So, and how often do you guys do the steak and bake? Is that every?
Like it's supposed to be bi-weekly. We just had the big holiday last week, so I don't know if we're gonna do next week. We'll see. So that's kind of like a random time thing.
Right. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much again, David.
Right,
we'll enjoy your dinner. We'll see you. We'll see you hopefully next time.
Bye, guys.
See you later, David.
Awesome. Is anyone else? I'm actually gonna throw this link in the comments. So if you guys think you got what it takes, jump in the green room. We'll get some more in here. That's the question on everyone's. Someone was asking earlier about different exchanges that may or may not carry Hex and Pulse, and to me, I just assume I'm going to be using Uniswap until PulseX shows up. That's my plan as far as exchanges. What do you guys think?
I think in 3 or 4 years, you're going to see pretty much every major exchange be using Pulse, selling Pulse. And it's because PulseChain is layer 1 and PulseChain is the native token, and it's going to make exchanges money. So I don't see any reason why, it's going to take the first guy to do it and then the second guy, and everybody floods in after that. There's going to be one guinea pig. But yeah, it's going to make exchanges money. I think that it's going to happen faster than we think.
Yeah, and also when it comes to fiat on ramps, when it is as easy as putting in your debit card and buying Hex, I don't think we're going to see these prices on these coins when they're that easy to get into.
Yeah, I have a lot of people ask me which tokens, which coins are we going to be looking at. Oh my gosh, why is he here? What? You let him through you're the gatekeeper, Hexray.
I know, but we got to bring a little bit of class onto this whenever we get the chance.
You haven't yet. I've been watching, guys. You guys are awesome.
Oh, we try. Are you up to date on the Texit?
Oh yeah.
What's going on with Texit?
Oh yeah. Hey, it was 1836? 10 years, the Republic. It's going to happen again, man. Do you know how it's going to happen?
No idea. I've still yet to dive into the Texit website, but it's on my list.
Very, very simple. So just like Brexit, which was, the UK, obviously, the Brexit vote, they're working towards basically putting it on the ballot of Texas to let the people of Texas decide, the voters of Texas to decide whether they want to be a part of an independent nation. Most people don't know that Texas is the 9th largest economy in the world, larger than Russia, larger than Canada. And so Texas itself the voters will have an opportunity to let the state know what they want. And so that'll happen probably 2023 would be the first time it could happen, but then it would be a couple years after that. So we'll see. But I'm a big fan of going our own way.
Yeah, and so when we finally come up with Hexaco, Terrafin says we should call it Hexit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. New Hexaco.
Love it.
Bart Bruno likes that too. That's good.
There's a lot of work being done behind the scenes, in the not just in crypto, but especially the Richard Hart ecosphere, right? Like we were saying earlier, we've got Frosty doing work down in Latin America, trying to help onboard businesses and people there, right? And then we've got a bunch of other things going on behind the scenes where we're waiting. I think in the next 6 months to a year, we're going to have a lot more projects, a lot more professional services that are needed in this space, right? That I think we're really going to be overwhelmed in the next 6 months to a year by the Hexicans and the Pulse community on what's coming out.
Bring it on.
Do you guys have anything to add to that, or what are some of the things you guys would like to see available to people, not just Hexicans, but everyone that we're trying to onboard and bring into this vehicle?
More philanthropic stuff, I think.
Philanthropic. You want to expand on that more first, 21?
Just more helping, helping other people, not like, I don't know. That's about it.
Awesome.
I didn't listen to anything you said, Hexray, so can you repeat the entire last 5 minutes of what you just said?
I said, what are some of the things you guys are hoping to see or excited to see in the next 6 months to a year, not only for us to use, but for all the people that we're trying to help out by onboarding into here?
I would say that I want regular people, which represent a very, 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 very small portion of the world's population, to see the power and the effectiveness of what cryptocurrency really is. And I'd like to see our community be able to communicate that and market that better. And I want to see all these brains click at the same time. And you say, oh, it's not just some bro in a dorm room mining Bitcoin for $834 a month and he's paying $3,000 in power. It's not what this is. This is a global economic revolution. And that's what we need to show people. We need those light bulbs to go off.
Yeah.
I love rags to riches.
Yeah. Go ahead, Heartbeat. What are you hoping to see?
Well, I just tell you, I'm inspired. I was on a call earlier today with a group that represents about 426,000 no coiners, and when you see an aha moment that they have, that to me is when they realize what's actually happening. And of course, I've been reaching out to other populations of people, and I think when people get the vision and understand, everybody knows about Bitcoin, right? They're like, oh yeah, that thing was like some dumb thing and now it's worth, a lot of money. And I think when people realize that, hold on a second, when we work together, we all win. And it seems so trite sometimes, like, oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, we all win together, as if it's, something very generic. But when they realize that, hold on a second, if we get together and we agree and we have a cause and a purpose, that we actually can unlock value. And that's exactly what the Hex community has done. And I think the more and more, I always beat the drum of, you have to realize it's not technology. The technology has to be there, but it's the community all rowing in the same direction where the value is unlocked. And I think that people don't realize how much power they have. There's so much power in the community. And when you tie these things to political movements, when you tie these things to, freeing people from debt slavery, I mean, that to me, you don't realize how many people, because of cheap money, because of the Federal Reserve, how many people have been enslaved. I mean, this is like we're in the Matrix, everyone's jacked in and you're a battery. And when you realize that you could actually escape this and you could actually live in a way where abundance versus scarcity, is that Briz?
Briz is in the house.
Hey, gentlemen. How's everyone doing?
Going downhill.
I didn't want to break your strike. Keep going, Crypto Heartbeat.
No,
because I was gonna add on to this when you're done.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm just fired up because like the reason I love Rag Swift is it's such a it's a revolution. It's an absolute revolution, and it can be peaceful, but it's something that's going to happen regardless of whether people know it or not. But those who get it are going to be in. It's so much of a paradigm shift, going from scarcity to abundance, that people don't believe that it's possible. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people, the light turn on in their head, and they're going, oh my gosh, do you mean that we can advance our cause and we can have an abundance of resources, and we can unlock a tremendous amount of value if we let go of these existing shackles? And that's what excites me the most.
I appreciate that. I was looking at that earlier, trying to think about what creates a place where people are desperate enough to be told what to do, to be controlled, and what creates freedom. And I think it's abundance versus scarcity.
Yeah.
Because if there's an abundance, people usually will do what they, practice their freedom, stand up for themselves. But when there's scarcity, or if they believe there's scarcity, it's easier to control them, right?
Yeah. Well, and you think it's ultimately peace and fear, right? If you've got people fearful that, I got to pay my bills, I got my mortgage, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I can't get my head above water. You promote consumption, you promote people to spend and to consume. You basically have them ensnared. And this is what has gotten most people, locked up. And, letting that, giving them an opportunity to escape that slavery, to me, is the key.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. And like I said, a lot of the U.S. sees crypto simply as a way to outrun inflation, right? The middle class is getting crushed. We're getting, basically the cost of things is going up so much faster than the ability of the America's middle class to afford them, right? But in other countries, this technology is a complete game changer from being bullied by the IMF and the US and other, policies around the world that are really, really giving other countries a hard time, right?
Totally.
I always try and tell people, hey, crypto is not a get rich quick scheme. It's a get you retire one day scheme.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. I don't even think most Americans understand what inflation is. So, but they're about to understand what inflation is.
I think they're starting to get it.
Yes, they're about to understand. Right. And I saw this online, and it said, I'm paying taxes on my wages, then I'm paying sales tax to spend my own money, then I'm paying income tax on my money that was already taxed. And then when I die, my kids pay the death tax on the money that was already taxed. And then people hate on me for doing everything I can to reduce my taxes.
And I'm the greedy one.
I think that was Grant Cardone. And then the other part of this, inflation decreases the buying power of your money. But guess what? The tax rate stays the same. It was the most large scale theft ever. And it happens, like you were saying earlier, Matt, like once every couple hundred years. Yeah. They debase the currency into oblivion, and then they create their own new currency, which, by the way, folks, I got a video coming out, I think is going to be the CBDC. I think that's what they're planning to do.
Yeah. Well, and look who suffers the most. I mean, that's the hard part. I'm assuming that folks on this and potentially people that are watching, okay, gas goes up. A lot of the people, you think about pensioners, you think about people that are on fixed incomes, you think about the poorest of the poor, you think about people that are living, paycheck to paycheck. It affects them tremendously, and on top of all of that, I see the credit card transactions. I don't know if you guys see this, but like my wife will go and get groceries, right? And I'll see that come through every time, and it'll hit my text. And literally today, she went to the store, and I'm like, what used to be a couple $100 is now, I think it was $291 today. $291 for groceries, and I saw it creep up. I remember when $200 was a big deal, and now we're approaching $300. And you go, it's like she even said, she's like, apples are $1 more expensive, and it's that silent tax. And to your point, Rags, it's the people. Can I handle that? Sure, I can handle that. But think about somebody that requires. I think about the guy that mows a lawn, or somebody that is on fixed income. This is killing them. And it's funny is it's the fault of the liberals, and they're the ones that act like they're in favor of the poor people.
Freaking plebs, man. They're all freaking plebs. I'm sorry. Now I know there's some well-intentioned Democrats out there that haven't drank the liberal and progressive Kool-Aid. And I'm not talking about you guys. Everybody in this chat and everybody on the stream knows exactly what I'm talking about.
There's one person I know
of. Who's that?
Her last name is Gabbard, I think.
Old Tulsi.
Old Tulsi.
Old Tulsi.
Oh my gosh.
So do you think the whole Texas border stoppage didn't help with food prices?
When you say helped, what do you mean?
Like, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, I figured.
Didn't help it.
Yeah.
That sucked.
I was just at the grocery store earlier today. I was looking at steaks.
Yeah.
And normally you could get one for like $7 to $8. But like I'm looking at all of them, and like the cheapest one I could find was like $12.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're talking about shortages coming too. I mean, we haven't experienced this. We're used to just getting whatever we want whenever we want it. And yeah, we're going through a major episode of unrest here, and it's going to get much worse before it gets better. But I'll tell you, this is our responsibility to fix. And I'm so glad there's a guy like Richard Hart who's got a vision for how we fix it.
100%. Absolutely.
Shout
it
out
feels
to,
good to be a part of that like-minded community, except for Briz. But otherwise, it's great.
Shout out to DJ Cryptomatic in the chat, and Bobby Hexelrod says, you used to go put 50 cents in the machine to get a pop. Now it's a $1.50, but for our grandparents, it was a nickel.
It's all about capitalism, really, because like you see these things on like Arizona Tea hasn't changed their prices of their. I don't drink this stuff, but they haven't changed their prices for years. It's still at like 99 cents. So it's really about the companies raising the prices, and then they're not raising wages, and then the poor people they're the ones that are getting all this inflation. It's killing them and not the people at the top of the chain. So but how do you fix that? Capitalism is all
it would
about,
happen
like,
with capitalism or socialism, and I think that's one of the biggest things is when you have
there needs to be
centralized power finance, then you're going to see money redistributed from the bottom to the top in any governmental structure, and that's what cryptocurrency fixes, I think, because we have the monetary constitution in the smart contract.
We're only at the beginning though of crypto. Have you seen that kind of thing? But slowly it's moving into the rich people grab up all the crypto, and then so now what do you got? Like you got to have a system where it doesn't flow that way. But how do you make it not flow that way? That's the problem.
Well, that's where the community comes in, guys. The community. You think about what Richard's done. Richard, because of his style, didn't attract, I think, the largest percentage of, Wall Street guys, right? He attracted veterans. He attracted blue collar folks. He attracted guys who were like, hold on, this guy knows what he's talking about. I like his style. He repelled people that would have been kind of traditionally taking over things. I think this is it's a real grassroots push. And what I hope happens is, I hope that because of PulseChain and because of folks like us, we get the word out to regular people. Because the only way we're going to be able to solve any of this problem is to help people who are struggling to understand what crypto means and potentially help them unlock this resource that comes from community. Because you're right. I mean, in the past, the hedge fund guys, the Wall Street guys have had a corner on the opportunities. And now this is the first time in history where regular people have an access to these opportunities that could produce, 10,000x. So I think that's the only hope. Is it's our efforts. It's what we're doing right here is what potentially can help save people. And Richard's been really clear. To me, I'm gaining so much respect every time I understand the depth at which he's been thinking about how to save people is truly to help regular people have an abundance.
Yeah, that's really where I was going. It goes to mindset, not actual money. Because how do you convince someone? How do you switch someone's paradigm from scarcity to abundance? Well, you set up a staking ladder and you see them get paid more stuff every day. You see them see the abundance come into their MetaMask wallet, and it really changes their paradigm. I think we got some feedback on morphers. Every once in a while, we get a what sounds like a dishwasher.
I think he's in the ocean.
Guys, I got to bounce. I want to say bye to everybody.
Rags, tell everyone where they can not follow you, not subscribe, not watch you get stuck on park slides.
You know what? If they want to find out where I am, they'll find out. I'm out, guys. Y'all take it easy.
All right. Thanks to Rags Richards for coming. Don't tell him I said this, but do follow him. Do like his videos. Do subscribe. He hates that.
And leave a comment.
And leave a comment, right, for sure. He hates that. But going back to, you really have to change people's mindsets because money's not real. Yeah. Money is an idea, just like a lot of
delusion,
things.
Right?
Exactly. You've got government, you've got religion, you've got money, and you don't find them physically in nature, right? But you find a lot of human beings who believe that same shared narrative, and it affects the way they live their life, right? So until you share that experience of abundance or mad gains when someone hasn't experienced that before, that's really going to change the way people live their lives, from the inside out. You're not going to change it from the outside in, I guess is what I'm saying. Give everyone sudden wealth syndrome, traumatize them for a year, and then talk to them on the other side of that, where they're like, okay, now their whole perspective is changed, and now they're thinking, okay, now what can I do to help other people now that I've experienced this, right? So, anyways, I that's where I'm at, and like I said, everything that we're still in the eye of the hurricane, right? Everything seems like nothing's going on. We're seeing a few of these projects launch and take off, and they're pretty interesting, but it seems as though PulseChain's never going to launch. But the truth is, when it does launch, things are going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be so much volatility, so much action. The casino is going to fill up with degenerate gamblers and front runners, and just everyone you can think about is going to be coming in, pumping and dumping their coins, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be really, really crazy and hectic when PulseChain launches.
It's going to be very erratic. And, the one thing that I've learned in crypto is basically if everyone is thinking in a particular way, it usually does the opposite, right? So I really think a lot of us need to temper our expectations of what's going to happen with PulseChain, because quite honestly, I just think it's going to explode. I think it's going to do great, but we're all thinking that, and we all can't become instant billionaires, right? right. There's only a certain number of marbles in the jar. But again, that's where you hold out, and the long-term holders are the real winners, because the real people that won in Hex are the people that got in on day one but waited a year and a half. Those are the real winners.
I think it's important to recognize, you think about this, never before have we experienced the growth of a new asset class of this size, right? So the real estate market, the bond market, all of these things have been around for a long, long, long time, right? They're $200, $300 trillion markets. This year over year, the crypto market's grown by, I think, 11% or more. And it's not even robust, not even close yet to the 300 trillion mark. They're saying that the projection is that the crypto marketplace as an asset class is going to be similar to real estate and the bond market. And so if you figure that we're sitting at what, 2 trillion now, and we're going to see ourselves at 20 trillion and then to 200 trillion, this is the very early stages of something that is only going to grow potentially exponentially. And I think that that's the thing that people don't realize, that this isn't going away. And, you know, I think the PulseChain is going to be an opportunity for us to truly take advantage of a huge, huge upswing if we're willing to hold. But, you know, to me, PulseChain, with all the things that are going on in the world, is potentially going to be the separator of decorrelating traditional crypto like Bitcoin and Ethereum from really altcoins, right? So I think there's going to be a break from those because they don't have as much exposure to the market. I think that the market itself, when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum, is too tied to traditional markets, and they'll go down when we see this giant correction. And I think we're going to see a decorrelation, and potentially, this is my hope, Richard Hart's going to be able to say, I picked the Bitcoin top, I called it, and I made the bottom when I launched the PulseChain. And that's, you know, that's something in the back of my head that I think is very possible, is that we're going to see the only place to get yield in this future financial system is on the PulseChain and in Richard Hart projects. It's very possible.
I remember the 10,000x that happened in Hex. It didn't happen from the people who got in on day one. It happened because Hex took a dip afterwards. So I really think the best strategy is to just take a set amount of money and buy every single day for the first 2 months, no matter the price, because the best time to get in Hex was January 5th. So just keep that in mind, everybody.
Hey, man, yeah. I really appreciate you. Thanks, X-Ray.
You bet. I was going to say, right now, when things are boring, is the time, like Briss said, to come up with your strategy and stick to it and say, okay, this is my DCA. If things dip, if things take off, this is what I'm going to do. Because once everything takes off, and you okay, Briss?
Yeah, my fans.
Briss is getting swatted as we're online.
The Illuminati's trying to kill me.
That's the second time in my stream something has just come crashing through. That's awesome. No, I was going to say this is a time because once things take off, once the casino doors open, it is not a time to come up with a plan.
Right.
The time to come up with the plan is right now. And that not only goes for yourself, but that can also go for some of the things that you want to get done this next year. You know, the philanthropy that you guys were talking about before. What do you guys want to do? Whose lives do you want to see improve this next year? And you can sit down and come up with the plan right now. Well, things are kind of like in a lull, which is awesome. And then I wanted to address one of these right here. Oh, and thanks Jawa. And thank you very much to Terrafin for telling people to hit the likes. I really appreciate that. We're getting about a third of people hitting the likes. So if you guys hit the likes, that's great. I really appreciate that. Someone was mentioning we all thought it was going to be $1 by Christmas. It was Jennifer Hudson. Yeah, we all thought $1 for last Christmas. The truth is, yeah, we probably would have hit $1 if it weren't for the ETH fees already by now, I'm pretty sure. Like we were already headed towards $1 before the ETH fees basically crippled everyone with less than $1,000.
Yeah, it was
coming
bad.
in and getting onboarded. What do you guys think about that?
Dude, the ETH fees were so retarded where like I got people in and they're just taking like $300 hits on everything. And I'm like, man, I know the fees are kind of, you know, steep, but trust me, it's worth it. And they're like, yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, no, the fees were just so bad.
If you follow Briss, you too can afford a box fan in your window.
I need Hex to hit $1 so I can afford something better than a $20 box fan from Walmart.
Did you get the Chucky doll on auction as well? Do you have the Chucky doll somewhere in your house?
No.
All right, here we go. So Mandalorian on Twitter posted about using Lightning Network to get Hex and PulseChain directly, essentially a fiat on-ramp. Is that bogus or not? I can't confirm or deny that. I haven't looked into using the Lightning Network to get Hex on that. So
I haven't heard anything about that either. Hey, I got to disappear for about 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
All right. And well, I want to say thank you very much for Crypto Heartbeat for coming in. Make sure you guys go follow his channel and like and subscribe to his stuff. That's awesome. And as we said earlier, Morphers21 does not have a YouTube channel, but if he ever gets one, you should probably follow and subscribe to him as well. Is that right, Morphers? You do?
Yeah, it's Morphers21. My Twitter is like James Owatonna. I have a lot of subscribers on it, but on YouTube, but they're all like from an older, like one of my old videos. It's about riding.
What was your most popular YouTube video?
It's about riding. I took a GoPro and put it on my head basically, and rode a fair ride. So it was like, I can't remember what it was called. It goes around. You go upside down in it and stuff. But I got like 10, 15 million hits on it.
So you're riding what with a GoPro on?
Oh, it's called the Ring of Fire.
The Ring of Fire. Is that like where you get on the motorcycles and you go around in that circle?
No, it's one where it's like a big circle where it takes you upside down and kind of goes around and around.
Awesome.
But I've always been trying to monetize it, but hopefully I tried monetizing, but I think because I had a bunch of hits on some other videos on what do you call it, copyright issues.
That was your biggest viewed video.
Yeah.
That's the one that pulled them all in.
Yeah, I got 12.5 million from 8 years ago.
Awesome. Pulse Goddess says, "Do you think that sacrifices are creating a false low?" No, I don't, because unless those sacrifices are being dumped on the market, they wouldn't create a low. They would actually bump up the price because you'd be taking liquid hex off the market, right?
Well, except for like those USD sacrifices.
Yeah, if they're
liquid loans did that.
Yeah, that is true. So that one would create a low. And then also if the project is selling the hex to pay for stuff, then that's also gonna push down the price. But everything we're doing right now, I think everything is just the fact that we're in limbo waiting for PulseChain to launch, because everyone is waiting to game the PulseChain launch, right? As soon as Richard Hart announces like the time frame or the window of when he thinks they're going to do the launch, I think you're going to see a huge spike and then a huge crash in the price of hex, because everyone's going to try to buy what they want for their copy, and then everyone's going to try to sell the top and buy back in at the bottom. So it's just going to be a bunch of front runners that do that, just like we saw on some of the sacrifice phases and just like we saw on Big Payday. Luckily we had the OA come in on Big Payday and protect a lot of us from what would have been a much, much more severe crash on the Big Payday bonus.
I think the biggest problem with price is you need more people to come in. So, the whole Ponzi scheme part of it, which it isn't one, but you have to have more people coming in, and in order to do that, you need to market, you need to advertise, you need to tell your friends, all that stuff. But Ethereum, obviously the fees you guys talked about already, sucking the life out of all the projects out there.
Pulsar says that he has a ring of fire after eating at Chili's.
I think it hit big because there's this guy, the guy running the ride, he's smoking and stuff, and he doesn't check all the comments on there are all about the guy smoking, and then also there's this kid on there that rode next to me or something that they all super liked that I was good to them, whatever. So it was just a one-off thing. I should have kept going with it.
Joe was asking for a prediction on the first rug pull or failure of PulseChain. I would say definitely whoever has completely anonymous founders, anonymous coders, no code to look at. That's who I think we're going to see the first rug or failure on PulseChain.
USDC will be the biggest rug when they use their admin keys to.
That'll be really, really interesting to see go down as the USDC, how that plays out. But like you said, a lot of people are just assuming they're going to use their admin keys to turn that off instead of trying to back or validate all of those USDC getting copied over to Pulse, right? So anyways, all right. Well, we are at a little over 2 hours right now. Briss is apparently buying another fan at Walmart or taking care of something. I want to thank him thanks for coming on Morphers 21. See, I can tell when it's time to wrap up because my camera likes to overheat. But like I said, thank you for coming on Morphers 21. Next time we'll see if we can get some more people from Crypto Sloths Think Tank in here. I want to say thanks again to Rags and to David Feeder for coming in. Motley Investor, Briss, you're harassing these gentlemen. Shout out to Motley at the end here. Time fly by. Pierce Immunity. Much love. Briss is scheduling a lot, Lizard. So, anyways, yeah, do your own due diligence. Keep up on as many of the streams as you can. There's so much information coming out from this community. Last week I had Fashion Coder, who's been putting out some great content. Cryptographics, GRFX, great people putting that out. As always, K4K, Crypto Coffee, who couldn't make it, but hopefully I'll be streaming with him tomorrow. So yeah, let's it says let's raid Cryptographics. So looks like Cryptographics is going. So everyone head over there and give him a like and a follow. And thank you again for checking out another Tech Talk. We should be live next week as well. I'll double check, but look for Tech Talk same time next week. And thanks again for coming. See you guys.